On today's Buckeye Roast, we start with a full national recap covering the biggest stories and surprises from around college football. Then, the latest Heisman odds are out. Who's rising, who's fading, and is Julian Sayin still within striking distance? We'll also ask the tough questions. Did Penn State make a mistake with James Franklin? And is there buyer's remorse with Jim Knowles? Meanwhile, Mike Norvell stays safe for now. Jameer Brown takes down the OHSAA, and we'll finish with whether there could be depth chart shakeups during the bye week. I'm Chris Drew, and this is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q right here on Dead Air Sports. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy QP Ski. Q, how you doing?
Yeah, just surviving through the bye week, man. Getting through. Obviously, college football has been good. And looking at the weekend slate, it was one of those where I'm like, all right, we look at this every week and say, I don't know what's going to entertain us, but I know something's coming this weekend. So just get prepared for it.
Yeah, I personally love the bye weekends or the bye weeks because it's a week off from content creation. I work all week and then I have to do Bleacher Report and watch the games and all that stuff, everything that comes with it after the game. So bye week is a week off for me. So I am excited about it. A little peek behind the curtain before the show. We're writing the show and I ask you, hey, let's find a topic to start the show off with before we play the music that has something to do with football. So Q.
Well, it's got something to do with football, but you brought up all these items that you were going to make me eat for the subscribers over the past like 3 weeks. If we get 1,000 likes, I'm gonna eat the hot chip and all that stuff. So I got an item that I saw and wanted to ask you, would you actually eat this? So Ron, I present to you the pizza burger. It's at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium in one of their new staple food items. I want to ask you, if you go to the game, Dallas versus Pittsburgh on the road, are you eating the pizza burger?
Absolutely not. No, I'm not eating stadium pizza. I'm not eating a cheeseburger with marinara and cheese on it. Definitely not adding lettuce to that burger. That thing looks like an atrocity. I would want nothing to do with it. And I'm fat and I love stadium food. That is disgusting.
I don't care how much I have to pay you to eat the pizza burger.
I'm not eating that because I don't eat I'm not even going down this rabbit hole. I don't eat cheese on my hamburgers. I eat pizza, but I wouldn't do it. I would not eat that.
You don't eat cheese on your hamburger?
Look, I really my only cheese consumption is really pizza. Outside of that, I really don't do cheese.
All right. Well, no pizza burger for you, Ron. But for the rest of you out there, if you go to the stadium and you want a pizza burger, it's available.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a hard pass for your boy. Definitely will not be seeking that out in stadiums. But Q, we got football to talk about. You want to get into it?
Play the song while I eat my pizza burger.
It's Tuesday, so we are talking Heisman odds. And when I say odds, I mean the On3 propaganda poll. And Q, for weeks, we have been wondering, where have the Buckeyes been? Julian Sayin balls out against Washington, I can't even remember Wisconsin. There we go. Jesus Christ. It's too late. It's too early. It's 2 a.m. while we're recording this. I'm looking at the Heisman odds. Q, have you had a chance to look at them yet?
Yeah, I did see a glimpse of them, so I kind of know where things stand. A little spoiler, but as usual, we got our opinions.
Well, I mean, we'll start with the star of the show right at number 5, because that's normally where they put the future Heisman winner at. And you have Julian Sayin coming in at number 5. He leads the nation in completion percentage. I mean, obviously, not as exciting as Diego Pavia, has one loss. Ty Simpson lost to Florida State. I digress. Q, Are you surprised to see Julian Sayin above Ruben Bain?
Yes. I mean, he did. Well, one, I'm surprised not to see Ruben Bain in a tie with Carson Beck, but I guess he could no longer hold him down. 4 interceptions. He had to get him up out of there. So Ruben Bain does maintain his spot. But Julian Sayin balled out. He's up at 5. It's hard to argue why he's even 5. It shouldn't be higher, but we'll take what we can get with the on-3 poll. So definitely makes a move in there. Jeremiah Smith hasn't got back yet. He hasn't been back in a little bit. So I'm interested to see if, Cardell Tate with his stats right now, both of them can make a bid to be somewhere in this poll. But I'm happy to get one guy. I'm not going to complain because we got one.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain. No, I lied. I'm going to complain. I think Julian Sayin should be number 1. If we're being for real, I think that Julian is the best quarterback in the country. And as the weeks go on, that's the good thing about this. You see, we haven't had many Buckeyes in this up through the first 8 weeks. We finally get Julian up to number 5, and we still have the team up north. And I feel like that is going to be the potential Heisman clinching game. Like, if Michigan has the chance to make the playoffs, if they win out going into that game, and this is essentially a playoff game for the team up north, and Julian Sayin's able to go in there with all the eyes on him around the nation, I feel like that would be an opportunity for his Heisman moment. So I feel like he's in the perfect position to do this. Marcel Reed, if they keep winning at Texas A&M, he's going to have a good argument for it. Fernando Mendoza, again, at Iowa, if they keep winning. And then you have the dark horse Q, and who I've been saying is my Heisman favorite all year, in Haynes King. And if they end up winning out and go undefeated in the ACC and potentially have a Heisman type moment in the ACC championship game, could you see Haynes King sneaking up the ladder?
Hell, ACC championship game. You got Georgia coming down the pipeline. If you're able to beat Georgia, who no matter how they play week in, week out, we know the national media has respect for. That's quite the bid right there. So, yeah, I could definitely see it. Haynes King, you said it, but this whole season has been the most exciting must-watch player around the country outside of Ohio State. So, most definitely, I think he's going to have a bid. If he can run the table, ACC championship, you beat Georgia, it's hard for me to argue against that. It's like that's something that's tough to do, so especially at Georgia Tech. So, I can definitely see that happening. And to be honest, for the parity in college football, that would be exciting if a Georgia Tech quarterback won the Heisman.
Oh, that would be amazing, especially for the path that Haynes King took. Started off at Texas A&M, didn't really work out there, and then it just has become like almost the mascot of Georgia Tech for the past 2 years. And the way that he's just pretty much embodied toughness and put that team on his back for the past 2 years. I think that's kind of what this trophy embodies, of being the best player in the sport, and not necessarily best player in the sport. I feel like he's just the most exciting. He's the type of player that, regardless of what number is next to his team or next to the team that he's playing, it's must-watch TV. And, that's what makes college football special. And to see a guy like that get rewarded for a season that really doesn't have a juggernaut outside of Ohio State. And I feel like as a Buckeye fan, you're always you're so in tune with the flaws of your team. It's hard to believe that your team's the juggernaut, even if they are. So, I feel like in a year where outside of Ohio State, there's not that many powerhouse teams, this is a year that you could see a Georgia Tech quarterback win a Heisman.
I think the only kind of downside to Haynes King winning the Heisman is I wouldn't be able to listen to any Chris Drew content for about 2 weeks. I only have to just block him out and just stay in the dark, because he would not shut up about it. It would be a long time coming. I'd be like, man, I can't do no more shows with Chris. He won't stop talking about Haynes King, and we're on the national championship that Haynes King is not even playing in. So that would be funny.
Do you think Dante Moore has a chance, or do you feel like some of these guys have started to fade out of the realistic opportunity to win? When you look at Oregon's schedule, do you think that there is a game for Dante Moore to have that Heisman moment before the end of the season, especially with the loss against fellow Heisman contender Fernando Mendoza?
Yeah, I'm looking at his schedule right now. Had it up. I mean, he's got Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, USC, and Washington. Not
No
really.
Heisman moment there. Like, there's nothing. He's going to have to light it up and try to go the stats route, because how many people are going to be watching Oregon play these last couple games, especially with that slate?
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, yes, Washington, USC, maybe, but outside of that, no. I think he'd have to ridiculously run up stats and then go light it up against. No, he won't even be there if Indiana doesn't lose. But it by chance go light it up in the Big Ten championship game. So yeah, I think he's cooked kind of. Yeah, it's not. It's kind of narrowing down. I mean, Diego Pavia had a big time game over the weekend. He's hanging around there. Fernando Mendoza. It's going to be another stats chaser as we go down the line. Tyson was going to have pleading moments. Julian Sayin is going to have his moment against Michigan. So it's kind of then, and Haynes King will have his. I think outside of that, everyone's pretty much outside looking in besides those. So it's going to kind of probably be your five.
Yeah, I mean, you have Haynes King and then Gunnar Stockton. I mean, if Georgia wins out, he's going to have an opportunity to, again, beat fellow Heisman contender Haynes King last game of the year. So, I mean, that could be a battle for a trip to New York between those two.
I don't know. It's going to be a hard sell. Georgia quarterback beating Georgia Tech for his Heisman. It's just not as sexy as if Haynes King does it. Sorry. This is where your bias works against you. Georgia's always good. They should beat Georgia Tech.
I wanted to take a quick look at Julian Sayin stats from this weekend. 36 of 42, 394 yards, 4 touchdowns. Leads the nation in completion percentage. I mean, he's on pace to have an all-time completion percentage for the season if he continues at this pace. Are you surprised by the performance and the poise that we're seeing out of this redshirt freshman quarterback in his first year starting? Not only is he leading the number 1 team in the country, but he's doing it in record-setting fashion.
Yeah, I mean, even being a 5-star, it's hard to say yes with just the way he plays. I mean, just rewatching him as we rewatch the game, it's just his poise, he knows where he wants to go with the ball. He takes what the defense gives him. He doesn't turn the ball over, and I guess one little critique is he still is working on those big time throws and just being able to take them because he's had open downfield shots, but also he's not turning the ball over. He's taking what the defense gives him. So you can't really complain. He'll do it as he grows as a quarterback, but he's still so early in his career that him playing this lights out. Like if I got Julian Sayin on the schedule next year and still Jeremiah Smith comes back with his crew receivers, this crew of freshman running backs that we have, I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know what I can take away to really make this guy pedestrian, because he's really not. And he's so accurate that it's like, you don't even have to be accurate though until Jeremiah Smith and Carl tape. But if you are, you get what you see on Saturday. So I mean, as best as I hoped he would play this season, he has exceeded that so far.
Absolutely. I saw someone say on the timeline, people are already starting to forget how good 7 was, and they were referring to CJ Stroud just because I feel like people were so quick to anoint the next coming. And it's just crazy the run of quarterbacks that Ryan Day has been able to string together since he was the offensive coordinator to now. And I mean, again, I get it's so crazy when you think about the biggest knock on Ryan Day's resume as a guy that ultimately ended up leading the FBS in passing his final year in college football. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, who's the worst quarterback in Ryan Day's tenure? Oh yeah, this guy that threw for 35, almost 40 touchdowns and led the FBS in passing. Like, yeah. The worst one.
It's embarrassment of riches, man. I mean, again, I bet CJ Stroud's kicking himself like, man, if I had that defense, I might have won as well, because that they did not necessarily hold me down. But yeah, no, Julian Sayin, I mean, above and beyond expectations. And this was kind of the Ryan Day test, the Ryan Day blueprint. He's been the quarterback guru, and he's had to take Will Howard. Obviously, had the Kyle McCord year, but this is Ryan Day taking a quarterback, and I said it. Should it really take you more than a year to get somebody ready? Probably not really, especially at the level we recruit quarterbacks, and Julian Sayin is now showing that. So he's right on mark.
Yeah, and I feel like it's no coincidence that you see the teams that are known for having quarterbacks that are able to play and develop outside of Sark ready to go this year, in a year with limited veteran quarterback play. With all the COVID quarterbacks gone, you don't have the surplus of old guys that have just been in the sport with getting tons of reps. You have teams that are out here starting redshirt freshmen at quarterback. I mean, you think about the preseason top 25 outside of Drew Aller, and you saw how that worked out at Penn State. But a lot of these teams were coming into the season with quarterbacks with limited experience, and you're seeing Ryan Day shine as the quarterback guru that he is with his next one up ready to go. I wanted to pivot a little bit into the national recap. I have the list of the top games from last week. Q, you want to know how unexciting that UNLV Boise State game is? We've talked about it now multiple times, and I still don't know who won that game. Do you?
No, I can tell you if you give me a second, but I've no.
I mean, I could look it up as well. I have the internet. That's how do you think this show's going?
I have no idea.
Oh man, which one of these games? I'll start with this. How much football did you watch this weekend?
So I watched Texas Tech, ASU as I hated myself. I watched Ohio State. Obviously take care of business, and I watched a bit of USC and Notre Dame play as well. So decent slate. I mean, how much am I supposed to watch? And on Saturday, I generally I'll say I'm not a guy who flips around a lot because then I really don't know what's going on. I'm a guy, if I'm watching a game, and this is why I didn't get to see much of Georgia, Alabama when I was watching Penn State, Oregon, I'm locked in on that game because I don't want to be like, oh, how did we get to 14-7? Because it was just 7-0 as I was watching 5 minutes ago.
I am a recent customer of YouTube TV, so now I am like Mr. Quad box every time I'm watching football unless it's Ohio State. So I've watched a little bit of everything. Q, would you like to give a prediction on a game that already happened? Who won between Boise State and UNLV? This top 10 game of the week.
UNLV.
No, they lost 31-56 to Boise State. Yeah, bro. Game of the week, bro. They just knew that there was going to be 80-something points scored, so they wanted people to tune in. Let's start with Ole Miss, Georgia. Who were you rooting for going into this game? I feel like I'm constantly like waiting for the Kirby Smart stumble, like, all right, he's mortal, he's not really like that, and then he reminds everybody, I'm like that.
Yeah, I was keeping up with it a bit. I mean, I thought Georgia was going to win this game, and at times it looked like they weren't. They were down a bit, and I was like, oops, I was wrong. Got to come in because I called the upset. I wasn't even really an upset, and they still lost. But Georgia comes back and obviously storms, and yeah, I mean, it feels almost comfortable as we look at the AP poll yesterday and you see Alabama and Georgia right in there. And it's like, there is some normalcy in college football along with Ohio State. So, yeah, I mean, they're just tough team to beat. And it's like, that's why when we saw Ole Miss at 4, I'm just like, it's hard for me to take them seriously. And it could be just a brand thing. But, I mean, Ole Miss just feels like that team that's like, they're going to be exciting. They're going to make great offensive plays. But when it comes down to and they play one of these teams that you can call a contender, they're just not going to be able to get over the hump. And no, LSU was not a contender. So let's not add that one in there. But yeah, so I will say that. And again, Kirby Smart proves he's still up there, and maybe we'll see him down the line.
How do you think the committee views this loss for Ole Miss, given that they lost with their backup quarterback?
Well, we're on who's really the backup?
I mean, if he hasn't been named the starter, is he not the backup?
I would say so. You got to make an official announcement. Are we doing Ryan Day depth charts that don't actually exist and we just predict on the show?
Well, I guess you're going to just have to go with whoever you see out there on the field, and I'm calling them a starter, and I'm giving them a loss there. And Q, when I see, every time I'm looking at these Georgia games and I see these scores, I look at Gunnar Stockton, who allegedly is a Heisman contender, and I Tennessee 41 points, Alabama 21 points, Ole Miss 35. Is this defense good enough to get it done in the playoffs?
I mean, it's not your father's Georgia defense. I'll tell you that. It's just, yeah, I think I watched all 22 on Georgia. One of the game, I forget which one it was this season. Their defense just doesn't look the same as it used to. And I was saying they're bad, but they're not the elite 2021, 2022 Georgia defense that they can be good at. And I said that. I thought Tennessee really outplayed them and never should have lost that game. And if they had managed to win that game, I mean, Georgia would be teetering on not being in the playoffs. So I think this Georgia team, you can definitely score on them. And then you turn around like Gunnar Stockton. I mean, how many points, for instance, is he going to put up against Ohio State? I don't feel like they have the weapons to quite do that. So, I mean, out of all teams, yeah, they could make a run, but definitely a lot of teams can put up points on them, and we will see. I mean, you talk about them losing Notre Dame last year. I can see Notre Dame playing them this year and putting up 30-something points.
Q, I'm just looking around this like jumbled mess of teams at the top of the SEC. Which one of these teams do you think is the best?
Oh, easy, Alabama.
Okay, and Alabama versus Indiana, you're taking who?
Ooh, it's so hard to bet against Cincinnati. Like, it should be an easy. Oh, Alabama. Alabama's been the one team that I felt like Ohio State would have a game against down the line. I wasn't buying the Miami hype, but I don't know, man. Cincinnati, the way they play, especially the way they looked against Georgia, was so disciplined. I would probably take Alabama in a close one, but I can't say that for certain. I know Oregon's good. We haven't seen much outside of the Big Ten other than that in Indiana, so it's hard for me to bet against them, but I'd say I would give Alabama, especially on talent edge, the slight advantage, but I don't know, man. Cincinnati, it's hard for me to say he ain't going to win because that's all he does is win, except when he plays at Ohio State.
Q, I'm looking around at these scores in the SEC, and I'm not sure if I'm on the SEC tab or the Big 12 tab, because when did they stop playing defense in that conference?
When everybody could pay
37-20, the Alabama game, 43-35, UGA versus Ole Miss. And then this one, probably the most confusing game of the week. It feels like every time I'm ready to buy in with a team, Q, they do something goofy that makes me look at them side-eye, and I'm looking at this Texas A&M Arkansas score. 45-42. And you know that's my test. What do you do against these bum teams in the SEC? And to see that, like, can you name an Arkansas wide receiver?
No, I don't even know how many players I can.
Where is the defense that's stopping Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate? Find it for me, Q.
I mean, there really isn't. I mean, it's just they're that good. So I don't know in a normal year if there's many defenses that can stop them. But I mean, right now, SEC doesn't have a lot of great defenses. I'd say I don't think anybody around the country is stopping them. I mean, Indiana, Oregon, Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame. It's like those two guys, I mean, they're playing at such a high level that it's like, I mean, can you really stop a first rounder? Like, we talked about how good this Miami defense was, and I didn't buy stock in Miami, but I bought stock in that defense. And Chris Bell, who I wouldn't put him in the same category as Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. Like, he looked crazy. And I was like, damn, I'm underrated. Like, I need to watch more highlights with this guy because he looked absolutely insane. So maybe outside of Ohio State, the defenses around the country, even the ones we think that are somewhat good, aren't just as caught up with the offenses this season. And that's definitely a change in the SEC because we talked about that. It's hard to get out of there with 20. You get out there with 20 points in a win. Not in today's SEC. You got to score 30.
The participation trophy SEC, man, it's just softer these days. I don't know what to say about that conference, bro. I see the amount of points being scored, and it's like, man, it just means more. In the Big Ten, you look around, you see Ohio State not giving up any points because we play defense up here in the North. Q, one other game that I wanted to ask you about before we move on. I mean, I guess Notre Dame, USC, how does that change your opinion of this USC team? I started to buy in a little bit, but that seems like a team that they got good. They have just enough good wins and looked just tough enough against that Michigan team that win is going to be enough to carry Notre Dame into the playoff if they're able to win out.
Yeah, and I think this USC team is obviously probably a lot better than what we've seen over the past few years, especially adjusting into the Big Ten. I mean, I do want to give them credit. I think they're a top 25 team now, maybe 20 to 25. But I think we're seeing USC at least somehow stay competitive in these games, play at least enough defense to compete. And obviously that Michigan performance was their best so far that I've seen. And Notre Dame, I believe, is a good team. I believe Notre Dame is a team that they had 2 losses, and probably a lot of the country wrote them off. And I'm watching them, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, man. They look pretty good. And they just may be a team that catch fire in the playoffs and just be a contender and find their way back into the Final Four, even though they started pretty ugly this season. So I do buy stock in them, and I've said they were good teams. So I give Texas A&M a good amount of credit, but I think USC is going in the right direction. And obviously we gotten past the days of Ryan Day and Lincoln Riley, but I feel like Lincoln Riley is somewhere starting to get his footing. Let's see if he continue to work on that. Obviously, he's got talent out there, but let's see if he continue to build on that. But I think he's just starting to get his footing in the Big Ten.
Q, I wanted to do a couple quick hitters and just go through all of the games that I'm seeing here on the ESPN Masters schedule and just call out some things that just jumped out to me, a couple quick notes, and get your thoughts on them. The first one, this team, Stanford, they played Florida State. Q, are you familiar with that team?
Yeah, they put about $10 million into their NIL extra before the game, so players have more motivation to go out there and play. So this is what I heard from my sources, and I've done some of my best journalistic research. So, I mean, they have brought back some players from the NFL as well to play in that game. So, tough for Norvell to get out of there with a win. Obviously, it didn't happen, but, yeah, it's just a better Stanford team than they played last week.
Yeah, no, Florida State's just awful, and I can't believe you ever said Mike Norvell was a top 5 coach in the sport. I digress.
What?
We move on to Ohio legend Mason Heisel, starting quarterback at Pitt. They beat Fran Brown. Fran Brown was losing his mind on the sidelines. He said, I can't believe this is happening. Mason Heisel, not the most athletic quarterback, but he can kind of scramble. Very reckless playing style, and ran for like a 40-yard touchdown and probably in slow motion. So I would imagine that Fran Brown was not too pleased with that. UCLA seems to have things rolling. You have to imagine that their coach was, I mean, they get rid of their coach and they're magically a competent team in the Big Ten. We were talking about moving them to Division II with the way they look to start the season, and they're on a winning streak right now.
Yeah, shout out to UCLA. They were very firmly the worst team in Power 4. Now, obviously, I don't know. They took Penn State's powers before the game.
Bro, it feels like a Monstars type of situation that like UCLA stole their powers, because I'm like talking about winning streaks, and then I look at the next game up and you got Penn State on their losing streak as they lose to Iowa, and Ethan Grunkemeyer with 93 passing yards and 2 interceptions in this game.
Yeah, I mean, thrown to the wolves. I mean, Penn State, not much has to be said about them. We know it's a train wreck, especially going into the rest of the season, losing your head coach. I mean, I know we'll get into it later. I really do not like firing your head coach in the middle of the year. I guess unless you're UCLA, it'll do something for you. But anybody else, I don't agree with fire your coach in the middle of the year. I don't think it helps out your program very much. This is kind of a downhill spiral from there. You can wait to the end of the season because it's really just going to get worse regardless. So I do say that, but yeah, it's not looking good over there. Grunkemeyer, I think, was thrown to the wolves, and this Penn State offense, they need a new offensive coordinator badly.
Dabo Winney falls to SMU. SMU, a team to keep an eye on in the ACC is. And every time I say to keep an eye on in the ACC, I don't mean like a team that could beat Ohio State. Anytime I'm talking about a team to keep your eye on in the ACC, I mean a potential candidate to wreck Miami's season. And they have a matchup in 2 weeks. So that's why I think SMU is a team to keep an eye on. They beat Clemson 35-24. Taking a look at some of these other games, West Virginia, it's looking terrible there. They lose to UCF 45-13. There was a couple other ones I wanted to hit on. Hugh, Cincinnati gets it done over Oklahoma State 49-17. I looked at the PFF grades, and guess what? Julian Sayin, not the highest rated quarterback in the state of Ohio.
He's not we said it before. He's not the best. The best plays at Cincinnati.
And then Texas in a battle with heavyweight Kentucky.
I lied. I watched the Texas-Kentucky game, as I've said before on this show. One of my best friends out here went to Kentucky. And so anytime I get stuck watching that game, if Kentucky's playing, I'm watching if I'm with him. And I thought Kentucky was going to win that game. I saw Sark come out and say, hey, I'm not giving up play calling. This is what I do best. But it's like, Sark, this is Kentucky. Like, the hell was that? Like, it's just so hard for me to believe that, like, you threw a shot at Sark earlier. I mean, I don't know if it was because he ate the pizza burger when he went to a Dallas game or what, but you threw a shot at him. This offense does not look good. He's talking about play calling is what I do best, but it's like, man, it's not looking good, bro. Maybe get some help. Maybe get another coordinator to help you do something and coordinate. I mean, Ryan Day's had to give it up. A lot of great play calls. If you want to get to that next level, have had to give it up. But, like, something is wrong.
You asked me why Sark caught a stray? The dude has more money than anyone in the sport and a Manning at quarterback, and this dude might miss the playoffs. What are you talking about?
Well, if you know
what are you talking about? This dude puts 40 Lambos on the field for recruiting visits and has every 5-star that you could imagine on the offensive line, and they couldn't block me and you coming off the edge. Like, what? How is that a stray? That is a direct shot. He's being. This is an awful coaching performance by Sark this year, and it's inexcusable for the amount of money that they pour into that program. There was no stray whatsoever. That was a direct shot at Sarkisian.
Rob, I will defend Sark for a second. I actually watched and shout out to Johnny Olden. We love Johnny around here. I watched Chris Drew go on there and, debate, clear some things out. I'm glad everything is good. But they were not convinced that Michigan was a better job than Texas. So apparently Texas is not as good of a job as you believe it is. Don't get mad at me. I just watched the show.
Well, I mean, honestly, you know what? They might not be wrong. When's the last time Texas won a national championship? Or when's the last time Texas beat Ohio State? Michigan's done both of those multiple times more recently than Texas. Like,
hey, money to spend, talent. It's Michigan, baby. It's not in Texas. So
it just means more up.
Doesn't have the resources we think he has.
It just means more up north. And a couple of things that I wanted to hit on before we move on from this national recap. Been saying it since the beginning of the year. South Carolina stinks. They go out there and get smacked in the mouth by Texas at home, 26-7. Dylan Stewart, if you're out there watching, I know you're a big fan of the show. Come on home. We want you a Buckeye Nation. If you're out there watching and you guys want Dylan Stewart on our team next year, make sure you put it in the comments. He reads them every day. He told me that. He will absolutely see it. In the last game that I wanted to hit on, I mean, you talked about Arizona State, Texas Tech yesterday, and I'm losing my spot in the note. Oh, Missouri, Auburn? Yes, that was the last one that I wanted to mention. Missouri squeaks out a win over an awful Auburn team, and it just continues to prove my point that I don't think anyone in the SEC is very good. I think they're all very average, and they can't decide who's a good team, and they're convincing themselves that just because of Alabama's talent composite that they're a good team. Yeah,
I mean, I don't think Auburn's awful, but I think they're very
on a 4-game losing streak. Q, what is awful to you?
I don't think they're all. I mean, they played in some games and lost some, not getting blown out or destroyed. I don't think they're good, but I think they're maybe a little below average. But I wouldn't go as far as awful. But yeah, I mean, I would say I think Missouri is one of those teams who was just average team playing a below average team. So, and also,
it's people like Q that are the problem because he's the one that sees a bad Auburn team lose to an overrated Oklahoma team, an overrated Georgia team, an overrated Missouri team, an overrated Texas A&M team, and they're like, you know what? That's not a bad team. They are terrible.
That's the way you said
okay. This not bad team. So was Wisconsin a bad team?
I mean, yeah, but they're all their players. Hey, I got pleas for Wisconsin.
What would the score be if Ohio State played Auburn? What would the line be? Let me know in the chat what you think the line would be if Ohio State played Auburn.
Oh, bro, it'd be like minus 35. Well, that's Ohio State.
But against but it's Auburn, bro. Auburn.
All right, Auburn's a bad team. I'll let it happen. But I will not let you get out this. I will not let you get out this segment without addressing Miami, Louisville. I know we talked about it yesterday, but we're covering games of the week, baby. Where's that one at?
Yeah, I know. Who made this graphic? Am I on the wrong week, or did they just not put it on here? Or was it just such a foregone conclusion that, Heisman quarterback Ruben Bain was going to carry the Hurricanes to victory? I shout out to our guy Anand, who accurately predicted that 4 hours before the game started and said, yeah, I would be worried about Louisville tonight. And Louisville goes out there and gets the upset. There is no better way to start a college football weekend than with a successful hate watch on a Friday night.
And the sad part is, again, I don't want to hate watch Miami, but Miami fans make it so much fun to hate watch Miami. And they talk so crazy that it's like, now I have to. It's like, I like Malachi Tony. I think he's a baller. I think Ruben Bain is a good player. Like, I like some of these players, but it's like, y'all just make it. And again, Ron, I thought it was just so funny that they get mad at us because they lost to a team that has nothing to do with us. Like, you hop into space. I see you down there, Ohio State fans. We gonna see you. Well, will you? You got SMU on the schedule. Like,
I saw a playoff bracket that has the winner of Georgia Tech and Miami in the first round playing Ohio State. And
they don't want to see Georgia Tech.
It is a win-win because if they lose to Georgia Tech, I mean, come on now, the jokes write themselves. And if they beat Georgia Tech, they have to play Ohio State. I will love nothing more than for the Ohio State Buckeyes to play the Miami Hurricanes in a playoff game. It would be glorious.
They might never recover. I just have to bury the hatchet at that point. I mean, it would be fun. I'd love to see it.
I mean, it's taken them. It's taken them 20-something years to climb out of that grave that Tressel put them in.
They're still complaining about that, like we didn't play 10 years ago or 15 years ago. They act like that never happened.
It didn't happen because we were on sanctions, so that doesn't count.
It's not good
in the rule book.
They have to see it in a more meaningful game to actually count it. Well, yeah, I hate that for them, but hey, we will see what happens, but had to address that one.
Q, I wanted to ask you, as you see all of these jobs continuing to open up, I want to circle back to your guy, Mike Norvell. There's news that broke that he is safe for now. And the rumor is the only reason why he hasn't been fired yet is Florida State's trying to find all the quarters in the couch to get him paid. They do not have the money to pay his buyout to get him out of there. That's the only reason why he's still the coach. Q, what's next for your boy Mike Norvell? Am I going to be out of a co-host? Are you going to be starting Menace the Seminoles with Mike Norvell?
I will not be starting to Menace the Seminoles anytime soon. I'm pretty sure Mike Norvell has plenty of money and can find a better co-host if he wants to podcast than me. I will.
Are you calling Zach broke?
I'll tell you that. That's like the extension he signed. Hey, I'm just saying the good side. Mike Norvell's going to have a house in Florida, and guess which co-host is getting invited to hang out at his mansion? This one. So we keep talking crazy.
Don't watch any film with him. You might not learn anything.
Now hop on a private jet with me to go to Florida and hang out. I'm just telling you. Yeah, man, he's got to win an ACC game. It's like, again, And again, I'm not a Florida State fan. I had to take this L because I put him in my top 4 when he was a top 5 coach. But I will say,
he was not. But go ahead. It's
bro,
just so crazy that you say when he was a top 5 coach. The dude went undefeated, and they didn't even put him in the playoff. That showed you how highly they thought of him.
Quarterback got hurt. What do you want me to do?
And the guy that was the quarterback of that team is doing a podcast just like us.
That was a serious injury. But anyway, yeah, you can't lose to Stanford, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I'm at the bar trying to watch games, and I peer over because they don't even have it on one of the big screens. They have it on the tiny, almost like an iPhone was over there playing the game. And I'm looking, and I'm like, did I say 13-3? And I'm just like, bro, be for real. Like, I understand Florida State is not a good team, but god damn it, how bad are you? Like, Stanford?
Terrible.
Florida State just has too much talent to be playing that badly. I don't know. Maybe I need to take the job. I need to turn
with
around.
all of these jobs opening up, with potentially Billy Napier officially gets fired at Florida. Florida State looks like it's going to be opening up. Auburn's not a bad team, but they might be firing their coach, even though they're so good, allegedly, according to Q, despite being on a 4-game losing streak. So that could be a job that's potentially opening. We know Penn State is already open, UCLA, Virginia Tech, Nebraska, when Penn State ultimately hires Matt Rule. Tons of jobs opening, but not tons of good coaches out there to fill jobs. I mean, you look at Florida, they seem to be hell-bent on signing Lane Kiffin. Arkansas also has an opening. UNC is probably going to have an opening when they get rid of Bill Belichick. Are you convinced that Matt Rule is an upgrade from James Franklin?
Hey, I said it before. Bill Belichick to Penn State. It just feels right. It just feels right to me.
Where did that even come from? I'm asking you, should James Franklin still be the coach at Penn State? And you're talking about the active head coach at North Carolina who is losing to everybody is going to go to... What was that? What explain it to me again. Where were you coming from with that one?
Nowhere. I just pulled that.
Oh, okay.
Pulled that out my shirt.
Oh, okay. I don't think you pulled it out of your shirt.
That was the podcast friendly version of what I. No, man. I don't know. There doesn't feel, and again, maybe there is, but it just right now it doesn't feel like the hot names coaching. It's a weird year because usually we have those. We have those guys where we're like, man, once this guy's not going to be around this program long, and he's going to move up to one of these better programs. And there's some good jobs out there. I mean, Florida and Florida State are great jobs. Now they find a way to suck year in, year out, but that's a great job, especially with the talent in Florida. It's about every year, and that's good for us because Ohio State can just go down there and be like, yeah, you don't want to play here, bro. Go up to Columbus and have fun as you become you're on national TV every week and they're the best team in the country. So that's good for us, I will say. Miami losing this past weekend, but those are good jobs. I just don't know the coaches. I feel like this may be more of an NFL heavy year. Maybe they pull a couple coordinators from the NFL and say, hey, we'll give you $10 million a year. Come coach at Florida. Come coach at Florida State. But I'm with you. I don't know where the good job's coming from. I mean, Colorado State just opened. And it was funny. I only know that because they said Norvell fired. And I was like, oh, no. And I was like, oh, Jay Norvell. We're good, baby. Good to the rest of the year. So that's the only reason I know that job's open, because it gave me a little bit of a jump scare because I had to show up on the show and defend myself. But, yeah, I don't know, Ron. Is there any hot coaches out there that you're like, this is the next guy to move up, or you're just really rolling the dice, pulling a college coach right now?
I mean, do you think a team would go as far as like going off the board and hiring a Hall of Fame Twitter coach like Ron James? Like, is that a name that we hear get tossed around? Like,
and Ron, I'm pretty sure you cannot win ACC games too. So why not get 20
you
million?
Think I could go on a 4-game losing streak at Auburn? Like, I promise you, I could. I could lose to UCLA. I promise.
I'm telling you, I'm sure you can do it as well. So I wouldn't be mad at it. I just really don't know. And it seems like everybody who has a head coach that they feel like confident they don't want to leave is throwing them bread right now and making sure like, hey, we're good, right? Like we got some money for you. So yeah, I really don't know where the coach is going to come from. I guess it's really interesting because I haven't really thought about it, but there's no up and rising programs that I'm like, oh, that's a coach. I mean, I don't even think in Dillingham, I've talked about him for a while at Arizona State, which I think is a sleeping giant. I think maybe just in the wrong conference, but even there, I don't think they're going to let him leave. I think especially the way that stadium is jumping right now. I think
an alum. Especially with him being an alum, like that is his alma mater.
I think they're going to pay him whatever they need to pay him to keep him there and give him whatever he wants because they're jumping right now. So I just don't know where the court. I mean, it would take a shocker of maybe like, I don't want to say this, but like a hard line leaving where it's like, hey, we're Florida. We're just going to give you all the money you want and bring all the receivers here or something like that. Like they're going to roll out the Brinks truck to get a guy like that. But I don't know if there's too many out there.
Yeah. What about a name like John Gruden? Is that a name that excites your fan base if you're looking for a head coach? I'm very like, all flash, like don't tell me about some like stick in the mud dude that really knows defense. Like get that the fuck out of here. I need personality with my college football team. Like you better be bringing me a high flying offense or you better be bringing me personality because like half the game is recruiting, if not more than that. And like, can you get a personality that's going to get talent through the door? And I'm not entirely convinced that John Gruden wouldn't be a menace on the trail.
I don't know. Deion to Florida State. It'd be sexy. I don't know if he's the guy.
Would it be sexy? I mean, like, no offense, and like, I mean this with all due respect. Like, at this point in Deion's career and his current state of health, with the relationship that he has with that Colorado medical staff, do you see Deion like being in the position to just like jump up and like head the rebuild of a major program right now? Like, I feel like he has a really good gig at Colorado where he really doesn't get much pushback for the administration. They give him whatever he wants. And they've been so supportive with everything that he's had to go through medically during his tenure at Colorado. Are you going to leave a situation like that? Or is that just somewhere where like you leave your stamp on a program? Like what Deion did there is more exciting than, I mean, Colorado was a 2-win team when he took that over, and he's just brought an energy and life and a branding to that program that it didn't have before. Like, does he walk away from something like that to go back to his alma mater, given the relationship that they had before that? I don't know if he walks away from Colorado. Like for a long time, I thought Deion was using that as a springboard type of job, but as with the most recent health complications that he's had, I don't know. I mean, I'm not speaking from any sort of information. I'm just speculating that I don't know. With the relationship that he seems to have with that university medical staff and that entire program, I don't know if he leaves.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm cool with Deion allegedly. So I would say I don't think he would leave unless it was like a Florida State. I think it would be hard for Deion to turn it down, regardless of his health, regardless of the situation. I think he has a great gig at Colorado. It's just like that's,
you know, it would be a job worth leaving for.
No, not right now. It wouldn't, but I feel like that's just a job.
No, I'm saying, do you know one that would be?
What?
LSU.
I mean, yeah.
Could you imagine Deion at LSU? Like, you won with Edo. Like, I guarantee you can win with Deion at LSU. It would be ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I think Deion with a good offensive coordinator and a good defensive coordinator would fit as a good head coach. And obviously, it's hard to get talent to Colorado, though he's found a way to do it. But if you drop him off in Florida or Louisiana and give him some competent coaches around him, like, I mean, I think Deion is a guy kids. I mean, we know this. Deion's a guy kids want to play for, love being around him, love his energy. I mean, when he comes out and speaks, maybe he talks a little too much at times. Yeah, he does. But he usually says good stuff. He usually says stuff is like, okay, like I see where Deion's coming from. So I that's why I think like if Florida State gave him the opportunity or LSU, I think he could, if he made the right decision, create a monster. Now, if he goes down there and I don't know, hires his friends as coaches, and I mean that may not work out well for him. But if he goes out, trusts his agent, gets a good staff at either of those places, like I think Deion could create a monster and be at the top of college football. Maybe not for a long time. I don't know if he's going to coach forever, but He can have a good 5-6 year run at one of those places.
Q, I wanted to circle back to Penn State. It feels like a victory lap for Ohio State fans when it comes to the Jim Knowles situation at Penn State. It's likely not going to be there at the end of the season. Hopefully the Buckeyes are able to get a big win over his defense after the bye week. Q, we tried to warn Penn State fans. They said that we were sour that they stole our DC. They were screaming natty or bust in our face. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. They thought they did something. And all of us were like, you know how complicated that defense is? Like, you guys are going to be fucking so frustrated in year one. Like, that is not a move that you make in a win now year. And I just wanted to play a clip from a Penn State podcast.
Should Penn State keep Jim Knowles? Well, I'm here to tell you why that's actually a bad idea if you're Penn State, unless they go with this one specific coaching hire. So Jim Knowles, the Jim Knowles experience has not been a good one for Penn State. Ohio State people, fans or analysts, people that cover the team, were not kidding when they said, so hindsight's 2020. Definitely should have listened to them since they saw it. I thought that was just kind of a way to jab Penn State and cope with the fact that, hey, Penn State just took your defensive coordinator to try to level the playing field. It did not matter. And again, hindsight's 2020, where this is the kind of mistakes that cost James Franklin his job. When Penn State was in win now mode, win a national title. This wasn't a rebuild year. This was a reloading type of year. At least it was supposed to be. That was the setup. And you go and hire a defensive coordinator where the understanding is, right, if people that follow the team, cover the team, understand that Jim Knowles' defense is going to take multiple years to learn, I got to imagine that James Franklin and everybody else knew that too, right? Guess not. Maybe not.
Maybe not. I mean, he makes a great point. If Hall of Fame Twitter coaches like Ron James out there know this, obviously James Franklin does, but clearly not. And like I say every time that I'm on ESPN Live, I'm like, there's only one bigger bozo in the Big Ten than James Franklin, and it's PJ Fleck. And James Franklin goes out here. He spends all this money to get Jim Knowles and bring in this defense that everybody said that Ryan Day had to simplify to just let Ohio State athletes go be athletes and be the best defense in the country. And then he goes out and gets Kotelnicki as his offensive coordinator. That makes no sense and doesn't fit his quarterback. So it's like, it doesn't surprise me that James Franklin goes out and gets these two coaches. And I asked a question earlier in the show, did Penn State make a mistake? And it's like, I think the more fireable offenses were his coordinator hires more than the actual result on the field. Obviously, that played into the result on the field, but I think those were the two biggest missteps by James Franklin, getting those two coordinators. Jim Knowles, a defense that's not really known to turn things around in year one. Did he improve things at Ohio State? Yeah, but like, I mean, we were in the fucking gutter when we got him, and now Penn State was in a win now type of mode. It just never made sense. It didn't feel like they needed to go out. They should have spent the money. I saw someone, I wish I knew the name of the person that said it on Twitter so I could give them the credit. They essentially made the point, it might have actually been in our comments on the show, that Penn State shouldn't have went out and got an offensive coordinator. They should have spent all the money to try to retain Tom Allen and go get a new offensive coordinator and get rid of Kotelnicki, because it didn't fit what Drew Aller did. If you're going to spend all this time putting a timeline essentially that resulted in James Franklin's demise with all the expectations around Drew Aller as a quarterback, and then you don't go out there and do it, and you handicap him by not giving him an offensive coordinator that fits his game plan, it was a recipe for disaster.
I mean, yeah, I gotta agree with you. And like, it doesn't matter what decision James Franklin made; it was the wrong one. Like, it's just, the results are in the results. Like, I hate to tell you, I know for Buckeye fans, this is a victory lap because they hate Jim Knowles for leaving. I don't hate Jim Knowles. I think he did a good job while he was here, and I was like,
I don't hate Jim Knowles for leaving. I hate how it went, how it happened. The fact that
the ask for the they asked for the pay raise during the playoff run is crazy.
Win the fucking title first, bro. That's all I ask. Go win the title. That's all. Win the title. Like, talk about the money after the season, after the parade. Like, I'm disappointed with the fact that, like, Jim Knowles was instrumental in the turnaround of this defense and the winning of a national championship. And the fact that he wasn't even at the celebration, that's weird. But, like, that didn't just happen for no reason. Like, there was weird behavior on both sides, one side. Either way, something clearly happened, and I hate the way that it happened, but at the same time, like, bye.
Yeah. I mean, there probably definitely was some on both sides, and I don't know. It seems like Nico got the best of him. He was like, did Nico ask for a pay raise on the playoff run? That's not a bad idea. they got a hit book. Yeah, so definitely. I don't know what. Again, we know Jim Knowles' defense takes years to establish. Now as it got better as the years got forward, so we had the number one defense. But even Kerry Combs' defensive coordinator / Matt Barnes for what little he had was an absolute train wreck. But again, our defense wasn't nearly that bad the first year, and the worst part about it came just we didn't have the personnel yet, and we saw that. I mean, obviously having Tanner McAllister go out there probably really cost us against Georgia, and even made Landon Ransom look bad because they were like, "You got to guard receivers because he can't." So
I had to work late tonight, Q. I can't believe you even brought that name up on this show. I think that might be the first time it's been said on this channel.
That's the worst. I think that's the worst move Jim Knowles has made, bringing that over. But I digress. Even our defense wasn't that bad, so I didn't expect the train wreck of what has happened at Penn State to happen. But I mean, the defense don't look good. The offense don't look good. And that was always going to result. And I'm just like, I can't believe this defense is actually like that bad. Like, I am pretty shocked, especially knowing how Penn State plays defense, that they're that bad.
Yeah, it's honestly a mystery of what happened there. I feel like we're going to get a 30 for 30 one day of like the demise of this team and how they like we may come to find out that UCLA did actually, in fact, steal their powers while they were there, because that seems like the only explanation of how Penn State went from the preseason number one team in the country to firing their head coach and potentially going 3-9 in a season that was natty or bust. I mean, they should definitely retire that phrase in Happy Valley, you know?
Yeah, it's got to go.
If you say that your season is natty or bust and you go 3-9, I don't even think that's a bust.
Natty,
like
bust,
combustion,
demolition.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Natty, bust or lose your job. Like, you got to add something else. It's got to be a third part.
Natty or 3-9, either one. Those t-shirts ought to be booming. Q, I wanted to circle back to the Buckeyes before we get out of here. They head into the bye week, Q. There's been lots of talk made about this run game. I feel like some blame could be put on the running backs. Lots of blame could be put on the right guard position. Do we see a shakeup at either one of these positions coming out of the bye? Do you think we could potentially see a new starter at the right guard position? I've seen people float the idea of potentially kicking Carson Hinsman out to guard and letting Josh Padilla take over that center role, while in theory, like if I was playing Madden, I would absolutely do that. If I was playing NCAA, I would do that. And like, I think that's a great idea on the game. And like, I hear where you're coming from. I have no interest in swapping centers middle of the season if we don't have to. So I would ideally like to see Josh Padilla find a way to secure that position during the bye week. Q, what are your predictions there? Do we see a new right guard at Penn State? That's a hell of a start too. If you're going to win the job to have your first game against Penn State.
Yeah, I don't know if we see a complete switch, but again, Josh Padilla and I've had the advantage of watching the film already before we were talking about it. But just looking at it, I mean, Josh Padilla.
You and Josh Padilla watched the film together?
We did. We actually FaceTime before the show, allegedly. So yeah, I think he's working snaps. I think Josh Padilla had some things that looked good, some things that didn't. But definitely some stuff to work on. But a bye week, I expect everybody to continue to raise their game and get better. I think if I had to predict, Tegra probably starts at Penn State. I don't know if they'll quite make that switch yet, but I mean, it's to the point where I'm like, either or. to be honest, who's going to play more consistently because Josh Padilla may be a little bit more consistent right now. So it's hard too because like we see it week in and week out. You watch the film, Tegra does some good things, he does some bad things, and obviously Philip Daniels too. He can't just let him out. I don't think he had a great game either, so he's definitely got to work on. But it's a one-game thing, so doesn't have a track record like Tegra has for us right now. But I would probably start Tegra, see if he can continue to figure it out, give a bye week, work on some things. But I think Josh Padilla is breathing down his neck.
Do you see either one of the? How long did I try to talk on mute earlier?
No, just now.
Okay. I looked down right before I talked and I saw that my mic was muted and I was like, oh, make sure you hit that before you talk. And I'm like, wait, have I been trying to talk without on?
I haven't heard what you said the whole show. I could just lip read.
Whole episode has just been miming it.
I think I know. I think he was talking about the schedule. Yeah, so Georgia's terrible.
Oh, but so Julian Sayin for hot. No. The other position I want to talk about was running back. Do you see the other, like, we watched the season and James Peoples and CJ Donaldson came out and essentially were the two-headed monster to start the season against former number one Texas. And it looked like those would be the two backs going forward. You see Bo Jackson gets his opportunity to emerge, and now Isaiah West is a name that everyone is enamored with in the fan base. Q, how do you see this rotation shaking out? Do you think one of these other backs that started off the season at the top of the rotation are able to find their footing and regain some carries in that room? Or do you think this is an opportunity for the freshmen to take over this backfield during the bye week?
Yeah, I think he is well more of a chance than like a Josh Padilla cracking the lineup. I think Isaiah West, Bo Jackson at this point is bulletproof. I don't think he's going anywhere. He doesn't have to say anything else. He's shown us he's running back number one. Isaiah West had a really good game. Watch him on film. He just looked more explosive. I thought he needed more carries, and I thought they shouldn't have really took him out the game. Once he came in, it was like, yeah, continue to feed this guy. We talked about it. It doesn't really matter right now as long as you're feeding the hot hand, and who's ever hot, play him. Isaiah West, you looked at his average, what was it, around almost 6 yards a carry? Like his average was pretty damn high.
6.8.
Yeah, there you go. So his average played pretty damn high, and the only bad run he had was when no one blocked and he ran into the White Walkers. So I will say, like, outside of that, he definitely deserves carries, and I think Penn State gives him a good opportunity. We know this defense has talent. We haven't played well all year, but this is defense where you need to make a cut, make a guy miss, and be decisive. And him to have 7 forced missed tackles through really he's played 2 games with significant carries. Again, the other one being early in the season, like he's definitely getting the hole, making people miss, running hard. So it's like it's hard to tell me he shouldn't get snaps. James Peoples has gotten a lot of opportunity, hasn't necessarily made the most of it. So I would say you would give him snaps over him. And C.J. Donaldson, the power back, not a terrible game, but again, he just doesn't have that shiftiness that you're looking for at Ohio State. At Ohio State, if you're running back, you're one-on-one, you expect to make that guy miss and be gang tackled. Like, that's the only time you should be brought down. And we've seen a lot of those guys is one-on-one, run right into him. One-on-one doesn't make him miss. So I think Isaiah West deserves a chance as much as anybody, not named Bo Jackson.
I agree there. It'll be interesting to see what the carry distribution is coming out of the bye week, especially going up against this Penn State defense. Or do they just go out and try to go bombs away on Jim Knowles? We will have to wait and see. Q, one last thing before we get out of here. It seems like the only thing taking more L's than Auburn right now is the OHSAA. You watch them lose their battle with Trey McNutt last year. They get sued by another Buckeye recruit in Jameer Brown. You see the temporary restraining order that allows Ohio high school athletes to profit off their name, image, and likeness. Q, your thoughts there?
We kind of knew when they told Trey McNutt they wanted no smoke. They're probably going to hit the rerun button and do it again. And my true question is how the fact that we are not we necessarily, but the fact that the OHSAA was allowed to let this go on this long to where it's like, you can't do this. All right, why? And who are you the authority to tell me? And no one challenged them for that long is honestly the biggest question out here, because we've seen anytime you stood up to them, they wanted absolutely no smoke. And again, how are you going to tell players that can't make money off their name when somebody wants to pay them? Trust me. If I was in high school, they'd be like, yo, I want to give you $1,000 because your name's there. I'd be like, I'm good with it. I will take it. So no one's going to tell me different. I don't care what colleges say. So, I agree with that 100%. I'm happy for it. How athletes get paid. And this is better for Ohio football. So, I'm with it. I think we predict this is going to happen. And again, Ohio football, just another step up, getting better, and that helps the Buckeyes.
Absolutely helps the Buckeyes. It helps Ohio football. So I love to see it. Q, that's all I have for the show today. Let the people know where they can find you.
All right. Fun show today. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Definitely Ron James up late at 2 a.m. So make sure you see Yarn over there. Like the video for
2 a.m. What clock are you running on? It's 3:20.
I'm operating Hawaii time, Ron.
Okay, apparently.
So, anywho, make sure you like that video, hit that sub button. If you know somebody who's not watching the show, can use some more entertainment in their day, make sure they subscribe to Dead Air Sports and watch it on the Buckeye Roast Monday through Friday. If you want to find me, I'm CityBoy Quentin on Twitter. If you want to find me on Instagram, that's Flying at Johnson. Again, hit those comments. We'll talk to you there. But Ron, where can they find you at?
You can find me right here Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. here on Dead Air Sports for the Buckeye Roast here with my guy Q. You can catch me in the Bleacher Report app for instant reactions after the Ohio State games with Chris Drew in the Ohio State team stream. Be sure to download the Bleacher Report app, and you can also catch me on Twitter at 2Ts. It's 2_TES. Be sure to like and subscribe. It helps us a ton. It costs you nothing. That's all I have for the show today, Q. You know how this thing ends. It's always go Bucks. And of course, OHIO.
When I hit the scene, everybody know me. 40 tucked in my skinny jeans. I'm so fucking low key. All hundreds, finna go get some cream. This another show week. It's a show week out the 7 days. I gotta pick up 40. Mama told me, baby, get you some sleep. Gotta turn down, move slow, please. I go home, rock my son to sleep. Gotta stay awake, get more of these. Nigga, you mad cause you ain't getting no cheese. Whole hood charge you whole fee. Sometimes there's no one to watch over me. Too broke, can't get close to me. Send an op, say hello to me. Number respect when approaching me. And don't act like you don't know it's me. Know that bitch somewhere close to me. And I ain't got no reason to be on that. You the one to avenge your homie. Even though I really be on that. Beat a nigga up if you want that. You can't even buy a whole lunch, Jack. Better get a clock and punch that. Used to run my hood like a rug rat. We went to war with one guy. Ain't lying, we'll go, they come back. All on defense, bust back. So they want me whack. 100 shots out the back of the lag. I spit that shit that you get hot to and make you want clap after that. Then try some shit that make you contemplate on it after the fact. Rap about the shit you living, nigga, what happened to that? I don't give a fuck about the rap game no more, nigga, I'm after the check. I ain't with a rap beef, nigga say my name once, I'm after his neck. Reach for 150, I'm